gonna run it a co-host with Dean. So if you want to also talk to Dean, I was gonna bring him up here in
No,
a
you're fine.
second.
I've talked to
Is
you.
that
I've
fine?
talked to you guys before. That's
Okay,
fine. I don't care.
for sure. I'm just making sure. I just want to make sure you're comfortable with that type of stuff first.
No, it's fine. I'm more here to have a, I understand your guys' worldview. I watch a lot of your lives. I think both of you are very smart and, solidified in what you believe. But I was just here to kind of question some of it because me personally, while I hold, the moral view that homosexual or a ton of things, any type of lifestyle that is sinful in the eyes of what I consider to be my God. And correct, I don't expect other people to hold the same moral standards or worldviews as I do, which is why I asked you the first whenever I came on is, why do you use your worldview to kind of tell other people that theirs is incorrect?
But again, I wasn't doing that. I'm using reductio ad absurdum's internal critiques. These are using their own views to refute their claims, or using things that they care about, right? Because when I'm giving someone an absurdism, I'm going to give them an absurdism not necessarily always related to what the audience sees as an absurdism, but what their own internal biases see to be an absurdism, right? Like, for example, if someone says that it's not a choice for them, or it says it's the choice for them to be gay, right? Well, then I'm going to ask them something like, oh, could you choose to find me sexually attractive? Right? Something like that. That's not going to be an absurdism for the chat, right? But it's going to be an absurdism for the guest as it relates to their own internal values.
No, absolutely.
Right? Does that make
I've
sense?
heard you guys make this argument. Yeah, I've heard you guys make the argument. And I believe that anybody at any given time can choose to find any person sexually attractive. I believe that at heart.
So you could choose to wait. So okay, then I'll ask you this: choose to find me sexually attractive right now, and then tell me you find me sexually attractive, so that I can confirm that you could choose to do so.
But there's a difference between being able to do something and being willing or choosing to do something.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be doing anything wrong by doing that. So just prove to me that you can real quick.
Right, we're just asking you to justify your claim, right?
Again,
So all claims require
again,
evidence. We're simply asking you for evidence for the claim that you can be aroused by anyone or anything. So choose to find Parker sexually attractive, and then confirm this by telling us, and then just choose to not find him sexually attractive anymore.
What I'm getting at is that it is against my worldview to act on certain things. Not that I have the lust or the desires or the willingness to find you attractive, but I'm saying that I believe anybody can find anybody else sexually attractive, and I believe that in the Bible, which again I was firstly using the Bible to substantiate or justify my claims. I don't think that it is the desire of homosexuality or any of the sins, but I believe that it is acting upon those sins and continuing to act upon those sins, not realizing the path that you are going down.
Yeah, but you're not acting upon any sin by saying that I'm sexually attractive. Latricia Austin, I appreciate the $5 on Cash App. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I'm not acting on it again because I don't have that desire in me.
Okay, well, you currently don't have that desire. No, but you can choose to have that desire, right?
I believe that I could, yeah.
Okay, so then choose to have the desire right now. Say you find me sexually attractive, and then just stop finding me sexually attractive. It's fine.
But it's very simple.
To have a desire to do something, you must truly believe it, and I do not believe that you are sexually attractive.
Okay, you currently don't believe it, but if you can choose to do that real quick, choose to do it real quick, and then just tell me the truth.
Again, to choose to do something, I must believe it at heart. I'm not going to call you something that I do not believe you are.
Can you choose to believe that real quick?
I could, but I'm not going to.
Why not?
Because that is not my desire.
Well, it currently isn't your desire, but you can choose to have that desire. That's my point.
What you're trying to do is you're trying to bait me into doing this, and I'm telling you.
I know. I'm kind of showing that like you can't prove that you can choose to do it because you're not willing to. Because you can't, right? You can't choose to find me sexually attractive.
Right, that's the point being made here. It's impossible to find individuals in which you are not predisposed to be aroused by just by our own behavioral desires to just choose to find them arousing. Like, for instance, could you choose to find your mother sexually arousing?
Could I choose to? I absolutely could. I think that is disgusting. I think that's immoral, and I think that there are many people in this world who have actually done that and who have acted upon that in an evil way.
Right, just asking you if you could choose, right? Could you choose to find a pile of dog shit sexually arousing?
Yes, absolutely, I could.
Could you choose to find the floor sexually arousing? Can you get a BONER to the floor?
I have the ability to find anything sexually attractive, and as does everybody else.
So I don't. Neither does Parker. Neither does any average individual. No. So here's my thing. So I will only ever be able to get sexually aroused by women, right? I can never look at a man in the same manner as I could a woman.
Mary Lou, thank you for the $10 on Venmo. Thank you so much.
Well, when
Right?
you
And
say
this is
floor, I believe
obviously
that you
going
have-
to be like the common consensus amongst individuals, right?
Yeah, well, I would believe that to find someone or something sexually attractive, they must be asexual, an organism. You can't find something that isn't sexual, like a floor, attractive, or dog poop. I think it has to be a human being capable
Well,
of.
then why did you
not
tell us
capable-
you could find sexual? Why did you tell us you could find shit sexually arousing? Then?
Yeah, so I was just stressing the point that you could find anything to be sexually attractive. But whenever I say sexually attractive, I'm referring to things within the boundaries of being sexual. So any human being. So no, I cannot find dog crap sexually attractive. I think that people can be turned on and have like kinks, things like weird, but I don't think that they are sexually attracted.
You don't think that they choose that? What?
You don't think that certain people like choose certain like kinks?
No. They just happen
You
to
think
have
that
them. I couldn't choose to have certain kinks. I couldn't choose that. That's fucking wild. I couldn't choose to find feet sexually arousing. I just couldn't do it, dude. It's not fucking possible.
So
the toes are not doing it for me, dude.
Right, then also not to mention that there's academic studies that would denote certain, biological predispositions even for a foot fetish. I can't think of them off the top of my head, but I do know that they exist.
So if I'm correct, and I've heard you guys talk about this a lot, you believe that there are biological predispositions in the brain through like the embryonic stages of development. Again, predispositions that correlate with somebody being homosexual later on in life.
Yeah, correlate. Obviously, there'd be correlations. But like, the idea here is that we wouldn't say that like being gay is some sort of volitional state. And same thing with being straight. We probably wouldn't be able to identify the specific causal mechanisms behind why an individual would be straight from a biological standpoint or why an individual would be gay from a biological standpoint. But we could see correlations with either or, right? But you'd still say that being straight is biological, right?
Would I say that being straight is biological?
Yeah.
I'm not aware of how I would substantiate that claim. Would you say
you don't think being straight is biological?
I'm saying I'm not aware of how I would be able to substantiate that. I believe that the human male and female body were designed, that they match each other. They're correlative or correlative, however you pronounce that word, for a specific design of reproduction. And I know your guys' arguments would having oral sex be incorrect or immoral. But again, I do think that the female body is in line and is a kind of partnership with the male body in terms of life and the ability to reproduce and the fluctuation of life. But a question I would have to you is, do you believe that say a man was married and had children with a woman, do you believe if that man later turned out to be gay, that he had been gay his whole life and he was just hiding it? Or do you believe that he made the choice somewhere along the lines to be attracted to another man?
Yeah, if they came out, I don't think he chose to do that. I think that's like the attraction that they had.
But if
Right,
he had not-
and we observe this, right? This is something we actually observe, like the suppression of like non-straight tendencies due to the perpetuation of heteronormativity is something that's very real, and something that happens very frequently, right? And we can actually, like talk and engage in conversation with individuals, such as gay males that have been married to women and even have had children, and like even they will tell you that no, this was just a suppression of their sexual urges towards men.
Okay, and I'd be interested. I'm not refuting that claim, but is there any proof of that? Are there any studies into things of that nature on people who have gone through that? Being married, having children, heterosexually, and then coming out as homosexual.
Studies to yield what conclusion?
Is there anything other than anecdotal evidence to prove that somebody who has been married and had children, or even just married to the opposite sex, later comes out to be homosexual? Is there anything other than anecdotal evidence or them saying that I was always gay or I chose to be gay? Anything that proves that they were bisexual before or gay or whatever?
Oh, sure, yeah. So
I can send you stuff from the Yale School of Medicine right now that references the quote unquote global closet. Right. There's many things that could be related to. There's many journals that we could relate to. There's also the Williams Institute of Law that could relate to that. We can go to Planned Parenthood. We can go to UCSF. Many things like that.
But my question to you would be, what if somebody, because I actually I didn't grow up. I had a friend in high school who She was born obviously heterosexually, and her parents got a divorce, her mother and her father, and her mother later turned out to be homosexual. She was a lesbian. However, her mother disputed the claim that she was always sexually attracted to women. How do you tell somebody that is using their anecdotal experience?
Seems to be bi.
But what their anecdotal statement, their testimony, I guess you could say, was that
they
were
seem
not,
to be bi.
but they were no longer attracted to men. They were only attracted to women, and they said that they made that choice to only be attracted to women.
So I don't know. I just think that they chose to repress the other attraction, it seems, or that they had a traumatic experience that got them to repress that attraction that they had.
So you can repress attraction to an individual?
Yeah, you can repress attraction.
You told me earlier. Remember, whenever I was repressing
I never
attraction?
said that. I never said that you can't repress attraction. What?
Wait. I want to clarify. What do you mean by repress?
Like they're trying to suppress it, like they're like trying to ignore their attraction.
So they have it, but they're not acting on it. Is what you're saying? Not that they don't have it.
They're trying to ignore it. They're trying to repress it.
Which
but you won't ever be free of it.
Do you think that's wrong to do?
To repress yourself, it depends on the sexual attraction. Like for gay people, I don't think there's something morally wrong with someone someone repressing it, but I think it's wrong for there to be societal predispositions that push people to wanting to repress it due to the fact that it's looked at in some sort of negative connotation or it's stigmatized in society.
Yeah, sure. Like in the
society do that.
Like in the context of like homosexuality, like yes, it is wrong to repress that because of the negative psychological and social outcomes from that, right? But of course, this isn't going to be like a universal truth because there's other sexual urges that should be repressed, such as p-theriophilia or attraction towards minors. Like, of course, this should be repressed because of the harm that would be caused by action upon said attractions. But there's going to be no wrong action that would arise from acting upon homosexual urges.
Yeah. So, Dean, you say that there is a problem with suppressing it or whatever. Parker says there is not.
Wait, no. In the context of this, I mean, I don't think. I think that there's going to be a problem with suppressing homosexual urges more so because of what is causing said suppression, which in most cases is just the perpetuation of heteronormativity,
like societal pressure is what you're getting at,
right?
What if it was what if it was an internal pressure? Say again, hypothetically, somebody was converted to Christianity or even Islam, which stress heterosexual values and relationships. And I go back to what I said at the beginning. If somebody holds the worldview that to them being heterosexual is the correct path, and they have the predispositions to be homosexual, but they choose not to act on it and they suppress it, is that incorrect to do?
I don't see any good reason to suppress it.
I'm asking you, say somebody was a Christian or Muslim.
That's not good reason.
But I'm getting at a question.
Yeah, so I think that just relates back to the idea of the social stigmas, right? That Christianity produces particular social stigmas associated with being gay that are unjustified, right?
But then you would have to.
And I think that unjustified social stigma is targeted towards people who are gay are negative.
But then you would have to.
So it's not the person who's gay it's not their fault. It's something wrong with the ideology.
But then you would have to prove that the social stigma was pressured upon them and they didn't choose. It's not like they're being converted to Christianity.
No, the social stigma exists by virtue of this particular religion.
Okay. Again, I mean, I'll drop. That's all I had. And again, I don't necessarily refute your claims. I think that everybody's entitled to their own morality, their own moral compass, their own worldview. But I find it odd how some people try to use their worldview to dictate how other people should live their lives. Even though I hold a moral standard for myself, I don't believe that mine or my religion or anything dictates or should dictate how other people live their lives, and they're open to do whatever they want. I just had some questions to kind of clarify, but I do think both of you guys are extremely intelligent and you know what you're talking about. So I do have a lot of respect for both of you guys for that.
All right. Appreciate you coming on.
Have a good night, man. All right, guys. In the meantime, while Parker's looking for our next guest, guys, make sure we're tippity tapping away on that phone screen. We are so close to 1 million likes, y'all. So let's try to get there. We're nearly 90,000 away here, chat.
Yeah, can we get some Eldeans in the comment section real quick? We need some Eldeanies in the chat.
That's crazy.
Eldeanies
If this guy
in the
loads
chat.
in, it actually. Oh, that last guy would have been a really nuanced conversation about religion. I had him up on my live for about an hour yesterday.
No.
Yo, L Parker's in the chat, bro. L Parker's in the chat.
No,
Not the
Eldini
Eldeans.
weenies. Every single time I join Dean's live and I can't like listen. I always add a poll that says W Parker L Dean. And only some
W.
people
Parker
notice
must
it.
always
Less
win.
people notice it now because it doesn't pop up in the bottom.
W. Parker it always loses, you guys, every single time.
No, it actually wins every time. I've seen it win every time.
This guy needs to get acquainted with reality chat.
Yeah, that's all it is. That's all it is. W Parker wins.
We're still looking for our next guest here, everybody. TikTok is being a little bit, a little bit weird getting people to load up here.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
32, man.
Yeah, do you think that being gay is wrong or moral?
Yes, it's wrong.
Why is it wrong?
It is wrong because if we were gay, then we wouldn't be.
Okay.
Then we wouldn't
makes
be
sense.
what? Be
That's
able to
right.
reproduce?
Do what?
Then we wouldn't be able to reproduce?
If everybody was gay, then we wouldn't reproduce.
Okay, so, all right, do you think it's wrong to be celibate?
I'm that, but yeah,
Do you think, obviously, do you
that's probably wrong too. Because we wouldn't exist.
okay. Do you think it's wrong for me to engage in intercourse with a woman who's infertile?
Bro, for everything to be morality, it means for it to coexist, exist. If we chose to be succulent or if we chose to be gay, we wouldn't exist.
So you can't choose to be gay. Also, you can still reproduce even though that you're gay. Like specifically, you can engage in IVF in vitro fertilization, or you can engage in specifically like artificial insemination, right? Or also engaging with intercourse with the opposite sex that can also exist, right? But typically speaking, we'd still be able to reproduce. But I think what you're trying to say is that like, oh, you can't reproduce from intercourse. So the same thing would also be true if I engage in intercourse with a woman who's infertile. Do you consider that to be wrong?
Yeah.
You do consider that to be wrong? Do you consider oral sex to be wrong?
It's nice.
Okay, it's nice. Okay, do you mind if I ask Joshua over here a question? Sweet. So Joshua,
Yeah,
do you think
I was ready for you, my guy.
do you think being a professor is morally wrong?
Being a professor is morally wrong.
I'm asking you, do you think being a professor is morally wrong?
No.
Okay, wait, why? Because this notion, if everyone were to do said thing, we'd see a collapse in society, and this is why you're saying it's wrong to be gay, because then we wouldn't be able to, experience reproduction. Kind of how Parker outlined that's descriptively wrong in the sense is if you are gay, you still can reproduce via means of IVF. But then even apart from that notion, well, if everyone was a professor, well, then society would still collapse. We'd have, no more, individuals working on our water systems or sewer systems. We'd have no farmers. There'd be no food. And society would experience an ultimate collapse,
Are you a professor?
Right? Am I a professor? No. But like more so what this example goes to show
Me
is that like
neither.
if everyone was
Parker.
if everyone was to be professor, there'd be no more vital workers to produce food or to maintain our water services or to maintain our sewers or to build
let
houses.
me tell you this, man. The logic that you're going off of, professors are real, right? Well, guess what? You could have been one. I could have been one. He could have been one. The logic that you're going off of is like we're all capable of a lot. So what are you explaining to me?
Are you high?
This guy's high.
This guy is zooted, bro.
This guy's zooted.
This
chat.
guy is actually zooted.
No, y'all just ain't following.
Yeah, I'm not following because there's nothing to follow.
Right. That makes sense.
Okay. Well, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just like, I don't see what the point of that was. Amber, thank you for the subscription. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Bro, to answer your question, why is being gay wrong? It is because if everybody was gay, we wouldn't be talking.
Okay, is being a professor wrong?
If everyone didn't get divorced, I wouldn't be here talking either.
Dude, like, but your question.
Is being a 55-year-old woman wrong? Because if every woman was of the age of 55 or above, we'd experience no more
Guys,
reproduction
we
in the
could
world
do
we're in?
this. We could spin circles. We can all hold hands and play merry-go-round. But your question is why is being gay wrong? Well, if we were all gay, we would not be talking. Like, I wouldn't know you. You wouldn't know me. We wouldn't be here. Like,
Did you
we
hear any
wouldn't.
of our responses, or are you just not going to engage with those?
Man, all right. We'll start with you. What's your response?
Okay. Yeah. So is it wrong to be a woman of the age of 55 or above, right? Because when women hit menopause at about the age of 55, they become unable to reproduce, right? So if I was to snap my fingers and magically every woman on the earth became about 55 years old, we would no longer experience any reproduction, right? So we'd yield under this logic that you're presenting that being a 55-year-old woman is immoral, right? But obviously being a 55-year-old woman is not immoral. So therefore we can conclude that this would be fallacious logic. And we would view this in a lot of senses, right? I don't think it's particularly wrong for me to go out, hop in my car and not use a turn signal. However, if everyone did that, we'd experience millions of deaths a day from that. You know, it's more so like the notion which I'm trying to present as well. Yeah, there's multiple things. If everyone did it, it'd lead to a collapse of society. However, like the reality of the situation is that not everyone does it. And when we're specifically talking about things like being a 55-year-old woman or being gay, these aren't conscious decisions, but rather, innate aspects of the, condition of being a human, right? That are set on by not conscious decisions, but rather biological predispositions. It is just likely as everyone to be gay as it is for everyone to have, like, blue eyes. You know what I mean?
It's just likely for everybody to be whatever the fuck they want to be.
No, not true.
Really? Okay, so it's a choice.
Being gay is not a choice.
So it's likely for everybody to be whatever the fuck they want to be.
Okay,
Like
Joshua,
a
I don't know what you're
spin
saying. I have no clue what Joshua's saying, you guys. I'm so sorry. Parker, are you following?
Not at all, man. Are you religious?
Yeah.
Okay. What religion do you believe in?
There's somebody up there, dude.
Huh?
There's somebody up there, dude.
There
That's what he
is
said.
somebody up there, dude, is what I said.
Yeah, so you don't believe in a specific religion?
Man, I'm a realist. Like, I look at people and I look at stuff and I live what I live and done what I've done and blah, 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 and I come up with a conclusion and that's what I believe.
Dude, what the fuck?
We just gotta move on, chat. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro's acting like he needs to like add a word count for his fucking essay.
Yeah, nothing wrong against Joshua, y'all. We just need to move on.
I'm sorry, bro. Like, he actually didn't answer the question at all. That's actually wild.
No, he didn't. Not at all.
He literally was not engaging at all.
We get our next guest, Ben Shirley, loading up in your chat. So everyone, just give us a moment while we do get our next guest up in your chat. It's just gonna take a minute. Once again, TikTok is acting quite a bit weird. Hey, what's up,
just
Hayden? How
living
old are you?
life, dude. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18.
What's your birth year?
2005.
For sure. Do you think that being gay is wrong or moral?
I had one question about something y'all were saying about having intercourse with a
Do you think it's wrong?
I do.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Y'all were saying something about having intercourse with a person who's like not able to have kids. Well, us women have no control over that.
Yeah, we were talking about this scenario in which, like, there's an one infertile partner and the other one's not infertile, right? In the circumstance in which the other one is not infertile, they could choose to be with someone else who's fertile, but they chose to be with someone who's infertile. So we're asking from that person's perspective, is it wrong?
Right, because under the context of this argument, one is stating that, if I were to engage in intercourse with a man, that's wrong because no babies. But we'd also see that same outcome, in the context if I were to engage in intercourse with an infertile woman. So therefore, this logic would say that that action would also be incorrect to do.
Okay, because what I kept hearing from each live that you have done, Dean, was that you kept asking people, is it wrong? I do not believe it is wrong for you to have intercourse with a woman who is infertile because she has no choice in on that. But I do believe being gay is wrong because, like, you have to reproduce one way or another, or else you, Dean, and you, Parker, would not be here without that.
Can I ask you a question? Do you think it's wrong for an infertile person to engage in gay sex?
Do I what?
Do you think it's wrong for an infertile person to engage in gay sex?
No.
No?
So
So
you don't
gay
think
sex
being
is
gay
fine as long as you're infertile.
Well, okay. You cannot, like, a guy and a guy cannot reproduce and make a kid. A guy is not able to be pregnant and have a baby.
She just got removed for community guidelines. That was rough.
We're getting some confused guests.
The Dean effect is absolutely wild. That's what we're calling it now.
Oh, the Dean effect. Oh my gosh. We're getting some confused guests tonight, chat. All right, our next guest, I'm a Fish, is loading up in here, everyone. We just got to give it a second, y'all.
All right, let's try the next individual. Please only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. We are just looking for some debates. Yeah, it's only Dean. Like I swear, every single time we have Dean up, it just makes the guests work completely differently. The guest box.
Really?
Yeah, dude. I'm not gonna lie. The past few days, I've been getting an insane amount of fetuses, and it's only after I had you on that one time.
I don't know what it is. Like, how could that possibly be the case?
I don't know. Maybe it's not even related, but like ever since then, I swear, bro.
Okay,
It's been fetus frenzy, dude.
Eldine, you know what?
Fetus and like an insane amount of fetuses that come on that say slurs. Like, and it's actually ridiculous.
Yeah, I've started to block them all.
Yeah, but the thing is, you have to let them say it for longer if you block them.
Mute them first.
Oh, okay, yeah, smart.
Yeah.
But then they just unmute themselves.
But some that I actually haven't had anyone unmute themselves yet. They aren't that bright.
No, they're not that advanced yet.
They're not at that level.
Yo, what's up? How old are you?
21.
Yeah, do you think that being gay is wrong or immoral?
No.
All right, we are just looking for people who disagree. Appreciate you coming on the only send a guest request if you disagree, y'all. I appreciate everyone coming up so far. Let's go on to the next person. Robert fucking W's in chat right now. Thank you so much, Robert, for the $100 fucking on Cash App. Can we get a W Robert in the comment section right now? Spam W Robert.
W
for the next 2
Robert.
minutes. Holy fuck, Robert.
W
Robert, thank you
Robert's
so
in the
much,
chat.
man. Oh my gosh.
Hello?
What's
How
up?
old are you?
I'm 22.
Yeah, do you think that being gay is wrong or immoral?
I do.
Why
Why?
so?
Well, first things first.
He cut out.
Cut out. Okay, restate yourself. You cut out.
Conversation.
Here, restate yourself and then you
I've
cut
been
out.
waiting since like 3 p.m. Can you hear me? Hello?
Yeah, I'm sorry you've been waiting since 3 p.m.
Hello?
Apologize. That's just how TikTok guests work. I have how many people in the guest box? 58 guest requests. I had
No, you're
99 earlier.
good. So I've just been loving the conversations that you guys have been having and with religion and all that kind of stuff. And kind of where my opinion stands is I'm going to remove God, right? I myself am not necessarily religious, but I'm going to remove God from this conversation. And I want to talk about from the neurological point of view, right? So what I'm saying is essentially I believe that it's wrong to be gay from a neurological sense, right? And I believe this in the sense that I have generalized anxiety disorder, right? There's definitely a way that my brain has been wired that is incorrect. Okay, you can see that, right? So we can say I have generalized anxiety. I have, we can look at this from schizophrenic perspective or a different kind of perspective.
Are
But
you
I
saying
think,
that like we'd prefer someone not to have anxiety?
yeah, and I would say the same thing.
Okay, so
about
then
being
why would
gay.
we have a preference against someone being gay?
So it's the same thing, right? Like I don't want to have anxiety, right? I wouldn't want anyone to to experience this. I don't want, if we're looking at it from a neurological point of view, our bodies are designed, right, as a male to have semen, right, as a female to have eggs. Okay, this is where we've gotten this far in evolution.
No, you're good, Dean. So you're just saying that like designed. Are you like requiring a like design usually implicates like a mind having like an intention
No,
over a particular function?
I mean, designed in the sense of evolution, right? We're designed to have
We just
to have teeth.
we happen to have these characteristics. That doesn't tell us how we ought to use them. That's just a descriptive claim that we have these characteristics.
But you could use that in the sense of like, okay, we have flat teeth because we're designed to both chew plants and animals, right? You can see cats.
That's just the function we happen to use. That doesn't mean that we ought to eat animals or we ought to eat plants. That just means that we happen to have teeth that do that.
Right, but our ancestors, if we look at cats, right? Cats have sharp teeth, right? And they eat animals, right? And it works out for them. So, okay, let's follow the evolutionary train, right? It's working out for them. So, in the sense, yes, that is the way that you're designed to
And
use
it's
it.
also working out for gay people in gay relationships. What's your point?
My point is, it is wrong to have anxiety, right? It is wrong to be gay because I believe that whether you can say about design or creationism, I believe that evolution has.
Is it wrong to be celibate?
In the sense that I don't necessarily. That's a question I've heard you ask a few times here. I don't know, right? If it's wrong to be celibate.
But that doesn't yield a reproduction. So like, if you don't know, well then obviously I'm going to ask you why are the answers different, you know?
Yeah. And what I'm saying to you is like, it is wrong to have anxiety. You shouldn't have it. It is or being gay, right? It is something.
Why shouldn't you be gay?
Because in the sense of the human body, right? Like looking at it from the biological perspective.
Oh, by the way, I just want to clarify. Like, you're not saying morally wrong, right? To have anxiety. Like, it's not wrong for the individual itself who has anxiety to have anxiety.
I have anxiety. Yeah.
You would just prefer it not to be the case. So, like, when you use the term wrong, you're kind of like it's not clear to other people in that sort of sense.
Sorry. Yeah. No.
Are you
morally wrong?
Are you equating being gay to some type of like mental ailment then? Because you started this conversation out by specifying the neurological state of an individual.
Right. Well, I wouldn't equate them. I wouldn't say they're equal to, right? But I'm wired to have anxiety, and I think someone can be wired to be gay.
Okay,
Right.
well, like the only difference is that, institutions of medicine and science have done extensive research on the neurological basis for anxiety, such as decayed dendritic densities. Thank you so much for that, Corgi. And they've determined that this in some function is a form of a mental illness or something correlated to that, right? And then all that I'm saying is there's not one institution of medicine or science that would deem being gay as mental illness or anything in correlation to that notion. I appreciate you for the galaxy. In fact, like the only individuals that make the claim that it is, or is in somehow related to a mental illness, are like individuals that are not in the medical field, individuals that do not have, a career in associated fields or work for an associated institution, and like the general consensus from all institutions of medicine and science and all medical health practitioners is that being gay is not any form of a mental illness.
And what I'm saying by that is I agree, right? I don't think being gay is a mental illness in the sense that it should be grouped with schizophrenia, paranoia, all that kind of stuff, right? But what I'm saying from my uneducated perspective, I'm not a doctor, I'm not any of these things, is it seems to follow a similar path, right? You can be wired to like women, you can be wired to like men, right? And same thing goes for anxiety, all of this kind of stuff that I'm kind of looping back over. But what I'm saying is I think that it something has gone wrong. Doesn't mean that it's bad, right? Anxiety necessarily isn't, like how you said earlier, Parker. It's not morally wrong, right?
Right. But difference does not equate to dysfunction, okay? And this is another notion that is not.
Wait, are you saying being gay is morally wrong?
Not morally wrong. No, I just think that
Okay. So then you're using a completely
wrong.
different sense of wrong than we're using. That's what's confusing. We're talking morally wrong. All right. So that's what we're talking about right now.
Well, you said wrong versus immoral.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I don't
we
think
will
it's immoral,
dispute,
but I do think
but
it's
we're
wrong.
talking morally wrong. Just letting you know.
Okay.
That is the position. Yo, David, thank you so much for the $15, W David, and another $50 fucking dollars from Robert. Can we get a W Robert in the comment section right now? Just spam the fucking shit out of W Roberts. That is actually wild. So yeah, you're not saying it's morally wrong.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's morally wrong, but I do think it's neurologically wrong, right? Being gay,
So,
right?
Yeah. Again, you all you're saying is that because people don't engage in if people engage in gay intercourse, it doesn't yield reproduction, but you can still produce kids even though you are gay. Second of all, as it relates to this, if you're talking about celibacy, you'd have to say celibacy is wrong. You'd also have to say that having attraction towards women who are infertile is wrong, right? All these different types of things. Would you say that being infertile and engaging in gay sex is wrong?
I think that so being infertile, right, isn't wrong if you like. Kind of my opinion is the neurological standpoint, right? The standard. Okay, being
You have no
infertile is
basis for
wrong.
your. You have no basis for your claims, though, dude. Yeah, and like I was kind of stating this earlier, difference isn't equal to dysfunction. Like the same claims have been made about other marginalized groups of society in the past. Like, at like the height of like slavery, 18th, 19th century, we saw being black was considered to be some type of physical wrongness or ailment from like this like medical point of view, right? And like there's literally no grounding for this except for your own prejudice. You just have a predisposition to associate some form of wrongness with being gay, and you are trying to rationalize that by saying, well, the neurological aspect, you know what I mean? There's not much substantiation for this apart from your own belief on the matter in comparison to some rhyme of reason or fact, right? And when we actually take a look at the facts, not one institution, medicine and science, agrees with you.
Hey, chat. One second. I just want to say one thing real quick. I'm gonna check. I think I might have the ability to get my gifts back right now. I'm gonna check. It might be there. It might not. But I was gonna check right now so that I can try to turn it on. And anyways, we can try to restart. So I'm gonna let the guest respond to that real quick, and then I am gonna hit a restart on the live so that I can check that real quick. It might not be the case though, chat. But it's also because we just hit 1 million as well. But
Congrats.
oh, go ahead. You can respond, by the way, and then I am gonna hit a restart.
Okay. Really, kind of to answer your point, Dean. I'm looking at this from my opinion, which is correct, right? But I'm also looking at it in the sense of, okay, there's a man and there's a woman, right? You have sperm, you have eggs, right? So the body is. I'm going to go back to using the word design for lack of a better word to combine sperm and egg for reproduction, right? And I know, Parker, you mentioned earlier about all the cool science that we can do that now without sex, right? But what I'm saying is neurologically, right? This was supposed to be our operation, right? And how human beings operate.
How do you know that to be the case?
Millions of years of evolution, right?
Okay, yeah. What does the millions of years of evolution tell you that would lead to the conclusion that that's supposed to be the case? Oh, then I also got to respond. I'm sorry, I forgot that Parker said he was restarting.
Can we get a W, Roxanne, in the chat, everyone? Thank you so much for the $20, Roxanne. I really appreciate it. Y'all are going crazy with the Venmos and Cash Apps right now, so I really appreciate it, y'all. I really do. If you want to say your last words, both of you, real quick, and then I'm going to hit a restart real quick.
Lauren,
I'm just confused on I'm confused on what you meant by, like, how is that natural if it's been working for millions of years?
Oh yeah, so I just don't know how you could assume any notion that our neurology is supposed to act in like some certain way, right? Because then if you just reference how it has been acting for millions of years, well, we've also observed, like the neurological basis for being gay, being around for, millions of years. I mean, we could date back, homosexuality, to like the advent of Homo sapiens sapiens.
Right. And I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that people are homosexual. I'm saying that it's wrong, right? Something has happened to the brain during conception, during like birth, whatever it is, right? I don't know exactly when someone becomes gay or if they choose to become gay or that is something.
Okay, well
that
then you
can
don't
still
know
be
that about being straight either. So like couldn't you just say that like either or is necessarily a dysfunction based upon your own preferences then?
So
It
it's
seems
not being,
it seems to be preference based because it doesn't seem like you're applying it to like people that find infertile individuals attractive and other things like that.
so the thing is being gay doesn't
Bro just like went underneath the ocean.
being gay.
I have no clue what you're saying.
It's hard to me now.
Yep, no clue. Bro just literally went to the bottom of the Atlantic.
Oh, do I sound like muffled?
Yeah, extremely. It can barely make out what you're saying.
How's that? Is this better?
No.
You are under the Atlantic Ocean.
Bro's in the submarine.
My girlfriend is
thank
here.
you for
I
the
want to
ICU.
listen, so I gave her my AirPod, but I think that's not working.
You are under the ocean. You are.
Yeah,
under the
I
water.
might just hit a restart right now.
Yeah. Yep.
Hello, man?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you better. All right,
Okay.
say your very last thing, and then I am hitting a restart because I did say that like literally 3 times, and then
Am I able to join you this next time, or is this it?
you can. I mean, I don't know what else we have to talk about specifically because you're not saying it's morally wrong, but
Well, I'm saying it's neurologically wrong, right? That it isn't meant to be.
yeah, and
You
we already gave our disputes to that. I don't see what difference there's going to be, but you can bring up your stuff.
There was a question that one of you guys asked, and I'm forgetting it now that we're going through all this AirPod dilemma. I think you had mentioned something about is it wrong to be celibate or like, I know you brought that up earlier, but you had asked another question. Make the girlfriend walk the plank.
Yeah, so if we don't know it, then we could probably just end it here if you're okay with that.
Well, it's your guys' question. So, all right. But,
Well, I don't know which one you're referring to. I've asked a lot of questions.
what's the one that you asked?
I don't remember either, to be honest.
Okay. All right. Then I'm out.
All right, for sure. Appreciate it.
All right. Have a good one, guys.
All right, everyone.
Thanks for coming up, and have a good rest of your night.
All right, we'll be back here in a second. I'm gonna hit a restart. Raid me back here in like 30 seconds. I'm gonna see if I can get my gifts real quick. If not, I'll come back on. Well, I'm coming back on either way. Dean and I are still gonna be doing a raid, but I just want to be, a co-host.
Thank you, Birdie.
For as long as Dean can stay on. But yeah, I'll be right back, everyone. Give it a second, everyone.